Hey everybody, Coach Troy here. Now, 2021 has not exactly been ideal for gaming, right? I don't think I need to elaborate why. Anyways, did the best I could, got as much gaming in as I could, and here's a list of games that helped me get through another kind of tough year for me and into 2022. Alright, now number 10 on my list is going to be Dungeons and Dragons Castle Ravenloft. Alright, now this is a game I picked up at a thrift store a little while ago, and it didn't come with the quest book, so it took me a long time to play it. Then I emailed the good people at Wizards of the Coast, and they got me a copy, so thank you guys so much. You're awesome. Alright, now, that being said, not a huge fan of the actual gameplay. I mean, it's kind of like a dungeon crawl pandemic. It's your usual, you do your moves, bad things happen, do your moves, bad things happen, you try to counter it. I think like a better version of this would be Subterra, a game that I sadly got rid of and really wish I still had. I think I need to pick that up. I would have played that a lot, come to think of it. It would have been high on this list. Anyway, the gameplay isn't what makes it on the list for me. What it does get on the list for me is all these awesome miniatures it came with, and I started a new hobby of painting. Alright, like this is just some of them that come with there. And you got some really cool ones like this flesh golem here. Now, this one was really fun to paint. I'm not very good, obviously. Some of them I'm pretty proud of, like I did a good job with the ranger, I think. This thing, though, I have no idea what I was doing with this guy. I just completely screwed that one. So a little all over the place with the painting, but hey, it was a lot of fun, a lot of hours of painting in that box. There are so many cool minis. It really helped me get through and get my mind off of things, and yeah, just helped me get through the year. Number 9 on the list is going to be Spacehulk Death Angel, the card game. Alright, now, I don't know anything about the Warhammer universe, never played 40k, don't know anything about Space Marines. That's fine. I have seen the movie Aliens, and this gives me that feeling, okay, of that first encounter that they had when they hit the nest, and the Marines have got aliens swarming all sides of them. They're trying to blast their way out and escape. That's what this game gives me the feel of. And even though it's just cards, you lay them out, so you do have a map that you're working on, and you're positioning your Marines trying to cover each other and blast as many aliens as possible and just get through. It's not about killing all the aliens, it's just about getting the heck out of there. Alright? And this game is a lot of fun, but it's brutal and punishing and just evil, it feels like at times, right? And I have beaten this game exactly one time. Alright, so if I haven't accomplished anything else in the last year, I can at least say I beat this game. And that might just be enough to get me through. Alright, so that's my number 9. Spacehulk Death Angel, the card game. Next game on the list is going to be Seven Wonders Duel. Alright, really had a lot of fun with this one. Now, mainly played it just at a cabin rented out with my sister. So my brother-in-law, we played each other a lot. And see, what I like about this game is you're trying to get as many points as possible without setting up your opponent. And so we just had that really good back and forth, had some good smack talk going as well. And just had a lot of fun with that one. Now, I only played it really that weekend, so it's not so high on my list. If I ever was to do another top 2-player games list, so this one is definitely going to be near the top. And I haven't even broken into the expansion yet. I got that and haven't even touched it, so looking forward to that. And I can see this one staying high on my top games list for a while. That is Seven Wonders Duel. Next up on the list is Chronicles of Crime. Alright, now this one is pretty cool. It reminded me a lot of Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, right? So if you like that or that style of game, definitely check this one out. You'll enjoy it. It's got this cool feature on your phone where you're just going to look at the screen and you can move it around, and it's like you're looking at a crime scene. From there, you pick out evidence. You also scan cards to talk to suspects and go to different locations and witnesses, talk to them, things like that. And so it's pretty cool, all right? The only thing I don't like about it is I'm not a huge fan of reading off of the phone. So that kind of knocked it down a couple notches for me. I'd rather read off of paper. I guess that's just a personal thing. So I don't know, something about that, it made it feel a little bit rushed also. I felt like I was constantly being rushed and pushed through. But that being said, I still really like the game. It's really cool. It's got some fantastic ideas. The stories are pretty good, if a little bit dark. The kind of cartoony pictures don't exactly match some of the dark tone that's going on in some of these crimes. Still, that being said, it's pretty cool. I got definitely several hours of enjoyable gameplay through it, so I would recommend this one, Chronicles of Crime. That brings us to Pandemic, Reign of Cthulhu. All right, now, this one is on the list, not regular Pandemic, not because regular Pandemic is a little too on the nose or anything like that. I mean, this one might be as well, too, because of all the existential dread and whatnot. Anyway, no, I just like the way this one plays better. I think you can play it solo better than regular Pandemic, and that's how I've been playing it, just by myself, to help pass the time and the hours. Anyway, I like this one a lot. I just think it looks cool. I think the way the Elder Gods pop out and switch things up, it just gives these different mechanics that just give you variability a bit better than regular Pandemic does. Anyway, yeah, I like it a lot. I would highly recommend it. Of course, there's so many different Pandemics. You can kind of pick your flavor. They're all good. You're not going to go wrong with any of the Pandemic games, all right? So I would recommend any of them. This one just happens to be my favorite. All right, now let's take the storytelling of Chronicles of Crime, put it up to the difficulty level of Death Angel, and that theme of that last game, Reign of Cthulhu, and you've got Arkham Horror, the card game. Now, there is a lot going on in this game. Now, true, the base game doesn't, it's pretty quick and not a whole lot going with it, but outside of that, once you start getting in the expansions, if you don't mind doing that kind of thing, there is so much to it. So much to it. And it's easy to get overwhelmed, actually. Now, you got to enjoy deck building because you're going to have to make your character deck. You got a bunch of different investigators you can choose from. Even just picking which investigators to go with is difficult because they're all so different and have different abilities, and you construct their decks differently. And once you start building that, that's a whole other thing. And that's before you even get to playing the game. All right? And once you get into that, I am shocked at just how good a story you get out of just these playing cards, all right? You put these cards out, you read a little bit that's going on in them, and just how they interact and what plays you make and how your deck interacts with the game deck. It's just so much going on, and it's so good. It's a very difficult. It's not too difficult to play. It does take some time. It does take some setup, but it's just actually a difficult game to do well in. So as long as you're okay with that, I would highly recommend this one. Okay, if you're like deck building like Magic the Gathering or something like that, I'm not into that, but if you are, there's a lot you got to do with that, and if you just like the theme, okay, I would definitely recommend Arkham Horror, the card game. Next game up on the list is going to be GloomHaven, Jaws of the Lion. Now, this game is a fantastic two-player game. It plays 1 to 4, but this works amazing as a two-player game, all right? Now, I'm always a little bit hesitant to get into campaign games because usually there's so many rules and things that you got to do between each session and setup and scenario. No, this is fantastic, all right? Instead of tiles, it has a book you open up and you play right on there. It through the first few scenarios, like it actually says, don't read the rules, just do the campaigns, and we will teach you the rules as you go through. And it does just that. And it's not super easy, like a My First GloomHaven or something like that. It's good. It's difficult. Like the difficult level, it does ratchet up as it teaches you, though. It's just a lot of fun. I haven't played regular GloomHaven. I've only played this one, and I'm fine without playing regular GloomHaven and just having this one, right? I really like the GloomHaven world. It's so different, and it comes with, of course, some more cool minis for me to paint. I think I did a little better job of this. And what I like about GloomHaven too is it's so different. It's not just your typical, okay, we've got a fighter, we've got a sorcerer, we've got a thief. No, these are super unique races and character classes. I think this dude right here is my favorite, the Hatchet. He throws axes at people. And it's just so different and so cool. I don't think I've seen a whole lot of characters like that. Anyway, let's say this is something I got a friend that I'm playing the campaign with. We haven't finished it yet, but it's just something that I look forward to, and we don't have to reteach or relearn anything as we get to it. And just I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm really looking forward to just getting through the whole thing. Actually, I think I'm going to be sad when we finish it. Maybe we'll play again with different characters. I don't know. But anyway, Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, a high recommendation from me. Getting towards the end now, this next game on the list is a very popular one, Lost Cities, okay? Now, this two-player game has been around for a long, long time. A lot of people played it, but I finally got it played for the first time this last year. Now, what makes this game extra special for me, though, is it's a game that my girlfriend actually asks to play. Now, you guys don't know what that means or how crazy that is, okay? Normally, I gotta beg her just to get something played, okay? But she actually asks to play this. So that's huge, okay? It's a simple game, you know. It's your typical draw a card, play a card, and you're trying to get, you know, runs of numbers in certain suits. But you have to be very conscious of what your opponent is going for, okay? And that's it's going to affect you, okay? You got to decide when you're going to give them points to get points for yourself. You got to, you know, is it worth it for me to get these points if I know I'm going to give her those points? And you got to balance it out. You know, it's a very thinky game. It's easy, sure, but you definitely got to be aware of what your opponent's doing, and so you're playing them as much as you're playing the cards. So it's really cool, a lot of fun. I highly recommend this game as well. You know, I put in quite a few hours and got lots of plays of this one. So thank you, Lost Cities, for helping me through this last year. Now, this next one's a little bit of a cheat because it's kind of several different games, but they're all the one time through, and that's with murder mysteries like Cold Case Files or Hunt a Killer or Unsolved Case Files. These games are just a ton of fun. I have a lot of fun with them, all right? And now what I really liked them this last year, it's because it's an activity that I can do with my girlfriend and the kiddo, all right? The three of us, we get together and, you know, we solve some murders. And in these boxes, you know, you get different things. It's mostly just a whole bunch of paper. You'll get pictures, crime scene files. My favorite thing always, of course, is the newspaper clippings that you get. Those are always really cool. And some of them will have different gimmicks, like different puzzles you solve. Some of them are just straight evidence and interviews that you're reading. The difficulty levels, you know, they vary. They're all over the place. Some are super tough. Some are very difficult. And it's a cool thing that, you know, you just get your group of friends together, or your family together, whatever it is, and you just go through them, and it's a blast. Had a lot of fun with it. You know, had several really, really good nights of just hanging out and just solving some murders, right? As you do. So I would highly recommend these style of games if you're into that kind of thing. You say, I'm a big fan of that Sherlock Holmes consulting detective. But I think these are more accessible for a group of people. It doesn't, you know, the cases don't necessarily build on each other like those do, and it's just straight reading off paper, newspaper clippings, pictures, photos, all that good stuff. I say highly recommend it. A lot of fun. Check them out. And now my game group, of course, was not able to meet up that many times over the last year, you know, very few really. So when we did get together, we wanted to play something big, something epic, something that told just a fantastic story that we'd remember, right? And nothing does that better than your favorite Cthulhu-style dungeon crawl, Mansions of Madness. This is one of my favorite games, hands down. So when we busted this one out, we always had a very good time. It's easy to learn, so if there were new people a couple times, we were able to catch them up real quick. There are several different missions or quests, if you will, that are different, and every time you play them, things change up in the game so that you're not just playing the same thing over and over again. So if it takes you a few times to actually beat one, it's not the same every time through. Some things are the same, but so much of it is different, right? It is app-driven, but I played it on the computer, so it was a little easier to read, a little better. You can get it on Steam, which is pretty cool. And of course, when I'm not playing the game, I had the miniatures to actually paint. All right, had fun with that. So there's several different expansions with lots of different monsters and investigators. So, I got to practice more. I'm kind of proud of this one. This weird toothy eyeball mass of Not sure exactly what it is, but it looks pretty cool, alright? So, just say, had a lot of fun with it, so thank you so much for the memories this last year, Mansions of Madness. Looking forward to getting a few more encounters with Cthulhu in over the next year or so. So, thank you for that. Now, say, thank you all. This has been the top 10 list of games that got me through this last year. Next year, hoping for better, but, still being cautious, taking advantage when we do have the opportunities to play games and spend time with our friends, make sure that, make sure you can get those memories in, get that time in when possible. And also let me know what games got you through the last year when you were able to actually play them, all right? Anyways, Coach Troy, I'll see y'all next time.